Hello, Facebook. Oh my goodness, super duper exciting. We are here to bring you an exciting live this evening. Maybe we're keeping you company at dinner. Heck, maybe we're your bedtime story. And if you're over on the West Coast, then we are here to keep you company during your witching hour. I know this time, 4 p.m. is a really popular time for many of our clients. So I am excited to introduce 4 of my very good friends and colleagues and support system, you name it. They wear a lot of hats. You're going to hear some really exciting stories tonight, and we will try to keep them brief so that you really have a chance to digest, unintended, each person's phenomenal transformation and just have a little glimpse into the magic that we've all experienced over the last few years. You see, they're down to business. Everybody's kind of getting themselves settled and making sure that all the folks who need to see this are seeing this. Okay, ladies, just give me your thumbs up when you're ready, and we're all situated. Awesome, super awesome. Okay, that's 4 thumbs up, 6 if you count my 2. Excellent. Oh, check it out. Eric Stabetsky is already here. Thanks for supporting. Well, I am not going to waste any more time getting started. I am super excited to introduce our first story of the evening. Now, I describe these women as my friends and as my colleagues and as my support system, but our first story gets an extra description, and that is my cousin. So, Lesley, I can't wait to hear your story. I cannot get enough of it. So why don't you tell these awesome folks about how this program has been much different than anything you've done in the past.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. So my story begins a long time ago as someone who has always struggled with my weight. Definitely as an adult, I have gone up and down and up and down and up and down, but even as a teenager, you name it, I've done the programs out there. I've tried them all. Some worked better than others, but I wouldn't say that any of them were really great because I couldn't ever keep the weight off when I was done. I would lose the weight. I would maybe hit a plateau, maybe I would hit to my goal, but then immediately that weight would start coming back up. And a few years ago, I had watched Miriam, after working, actually I was working with a doctor. I was exercising like a crazy person. I was walking 10 to 15 miles a day. I was at the gym with a personal trainer 3 days a week. Over the course of 2 years, I lost a bunch of weight. When I started that, I was 100 pounds overweight. After 2 years of doing that, I got almost to my goal. And like everything else, I hit a plateau and that weight started creeping back on. And while I was doing this, I was watching Miriam, my amazing, wonderful coach, lose 100 pounds in 9 months. I watched her mother lose 100 pounds. I watched my mother-in-law. I watched my father-in-law. I watched all these people losing the weight with ease. And I was actually a little jealous because here I was really struggling and I couldn't get the weight off, and then I couldn't keep it off. And when I hit this plateau, within 6 months, I had put on 75 of those pounds back on. And I was miserable. I was depressed. I was at the bottom. I was totally at the bottom, physically, emotionally, in every which way. And I finally reached out to Miriam and said, okay, Miriam, I need your secret. I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. I had been watching her. And, so we got on a call and we started and we went through everything. And she told me all about the program and how it was going to work. And I said, I don't know, here it was, sort of diet mentality. I don't know, how is this going to work? Like, nothing works. My body is broken. My metabolism is all messed up. And Miriam laughed at me, literally laughed at me and said, your body is not broken. I promise you this program will work. I've coached numerous people and it's always worked for them. Just give it a try. Try it for 30 days. So I said, okay, you know what? I can do anything for 30 days, just like everything else. I can do anything for 30 days. So I went on, and lo and behold, within the first 6 weeks, I was down 20 pounds. Within 7 months, I was down 75 pounds and at my goal weight. And for me, that was tremendous. But getting to my goal weight, like I said before, I'd hit that before. So I knew I could get there. But the biggest piece of this story for me is that it didn't stop there. I am now a year and a half at my healthy weight. I have never in my entire life been able to maintain a healthy weight for more than a few days, much less a year and a half. So this program has been so transformative for me. Completely changed my life. I am a new person, physically, emotionally. If you would have told me 2 years ago when I started this that I would be out there doing this, and not only would I be healthy, but that I would be an example to others and helping other people get healthy, I would have told you were crazy. And now I can't imagine a different life for myself. I mean, it's amazing. And, I owe it all to Miriam for inspiring me and saying, you can do this, and really believing in me. And so, that's my story. And if anybody would like to talk to me about it more, I'm happy to, because I know what it feels like to feel like you can't ever do it. And I know how it feels like to be afraid of failure. But you can do it. And I'm here to tell you that if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker, Melinda Strauss. She has become a good friend of mine through this amazing program. I did not know her before, but she also has her own weight loss story, and she has her own obstacles that she has to face, job-wise, medically. So I'm going to let Melinda take it away and share her story.
Well, first of all, hi, everybody. All the coaches on the line, wave hi to Instagram, because you're also on Instagram. So wave hi, everybody. They're all saying hi to you too. Okay, so I just realized first of all, let's start with the fact that I'm all prettied up, because I am going to a Latka judging competition after this Zoom. So that'll actually get us right into my obstacles. But I realized something before this call. It's almost 16 years since I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Christmas Eve, 2001, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And it's been something I've been dealing with ever since. Is it a day-to-day disease that I'm always thinking about, and it's always standing in my way of a lot of things, including weight loss. But if you fast forward to how many years later, 9 years later, and I had my second child, my daughter, and started losing the baby weight, and then started my food blog. My food blog is called Kitchen Tested. Definitely check it out. Big shout out to my blog. And that has been my job. I started the job 7 years ago. So my daughter was only a few months old when I started, and I stopped losing weight. And I got stuck. I got stuck at a weight that would not move. And I know exactly why. I was food blogging. I was testing recipes, going out for dinners, going to events. It's a really fun, glamorous job. And it's, you go out a lot, you eat a lot of food, but a lot of times you don't get to choose the food that's on your plate. And yeah, sure, you can work around it, but you don't, it comes in front of you, and what's there is there. And you're posting about it on Instagram and social media. And that's what I was doing for years and years and years, and sitting there going, well, why am I not losing the weight? And trying all these different diets, so many diets, and none of them worked. And part of it I realized was me, because I was not committing myself to a plan. But a lot of it was that I wasn't committing to changing my habits. And when I found Optavia, when I saw a friend of mine who had lost like 75 pounds, it was incredible. I'm like, whatever you're doing, I'm doing. And I realized I had to make a commitment. And it was that these obstacles were no longer going to be obstacles. That I was going to say for the next few months, while I am focused on this plan, I am not going to go to these dinners, because you know what? They're going to be there. That FOMO that we get, that fear of missing out, it's okay. It's going to be, that stuff is going to be there when I get back, and I'll be able to make better choices, because I know that I'm changing my habits. And that's what I did for a few months. I stopped going out for fancy dinners. I stopped going to these big events. Or if I did go to an event just to be seen, I didn't eat. I planned everything ahead of time so that I wouldn't need to eat, or I'd have my protein and vegetables and stay really healthy. And ever since then, I lost my weight, and of course comes maintenance. So maintenance is its own thing that you're dealing with, where every day you're making mindful decisions. And I do feel that being on the plan and being in touch with my coach really helps, and helped with me being able to make better choices so I could keep the weight off and even lose a little more if I want to. And this team here, the 5 of us here, is a huge part of why I've been able to keep the weight off. And when I want, with what goals that I have, even when they're not weight loss goals, if they're financial goals, I'm able to reach them because I stay in touch with my coaches. I mean, I have my direct coach here, but we all work together, and that's my story. And it actually leads to the next person I'm introducing, who is Elana Berlin. And Elana is a coach on my team who I talk to practically every single day. We are not just coworkers, we are friends. And Elana really, really understands how community can not only change you, but can it just keeps you sane. So Elana, take it away.
Thanks so much, Melinda. Personally, I have struggled my entire life with my weight. I was on probably every single diet you can imagine. I consider myself to be a diet expert. You name a diet, I was on it. I found myself like a yo-yo, constantly going up and down and always struggling to win the battle. And although I did find success on some things, like Lesley said, I was never able to get there. And that all changed when I was introduced to Optavia, and specifically to the amazing community that Melinda had started talking about. The community aspect is just so strong with this program. I can't even begin to say enough about it. I mean, starting with my incredible health coach, Melinda, who you just heard from. I mean, she is always there for me. And no matter what, to cheer me up or to just motivate me to be stronger, a better version of myself, she's my rock. And we have such a strong connection that I can't even say. The private Facebook support groups are another community thing that I love to tap into. I constantly find myself going on these Facebook groups and reaching out if I have a question. I know that the person that's going to answer me has my back and is in the same situation as me. And that's really comforting for me to know that. And recently I started going in there and just trying to help other people, get the answers that, at first I was afraid to do that, but then I found myself through this whole process, just becoming more comfortable and not as nervous and not as afraid, I guess. So I've changed quite dramatically in that respect. We also have these amazing Habits of Health webinars on Wednesday, and there is not a Wednesday that goes by that I don't learn something from one of the topics that is being offered. But probably if I have to pick, one of my favorite aspects of the community are the live Facebook support client groups that we have every Thursday night. And it's something that is on my calendar, and my family knows that we're not going anywhere on Thursday night because I am watching those Zooms. I am being a part of this community for forever, really. When you think about it, there's so much negativity out there, and it's kind of refreshing to be able to surround yourself with like-minded, positive people. In fact, I've met probably some of the most amazing people in this community, like you guys, like Miriam, Jacqui, Lesley, Melinda. It's kind of crazy to think a year ago, I didn't know you guys. And now we're hosting a Facebook Live together, and we're developing lasting friendships. And it's because of this community and my strong connection to it that I chose to become a health coach. And my hope is that I can help and inspire other people to reach their goals and get there. And in my opinion, it's really the community that helps you stay on track. And it continues to motivate me daily to live healthy long term. And let's face it, really, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's so much more than just losing the weight, because I've done that before a dozen times. It's more than just losing the weight. It's about keeping it off for life. And that's what being part of Optavia and this community has really done for me and changed me in just so many ways. And I'd like to now introduce one of my persons on my team, Jacqui, who has rocked this program, and she continues to inspire me daily. Jacqui? I think you're muted, Jacqui. I'm sorry.
Sorry, am I muted?
Yeah.
Elana, it is so funny hearing you speak about how you didn't know us a year ago and all the changes. You didn't know how to log into the internet. Forget going. You're on Instagram Live. You're on Facebook Live. You're on Zoom. Jacqui? You're on multi-level technology here, and it is so
humiliating me in front of the entire Facebook community.
It's so cool. How far you've come.
I wasn't that pathetic, but I hear what you're saying. I'm not technologically savvy.
But you take it upon yourself to learn, and you're here now. So for those of you that don't know my story, almost 3 years ago, 2 years and 11 months ago, I called my health coach who's on the line, Miriam, and I said, I need to get pregnant and I need to lose 25 pounds. So I can't, like I was on a time clock. Like I was so excited to have baby number 3. My previous 2 pregnancies, I had gestational diabetes, and 6 shots of insulin a day is no joke. It is like not anything I wish upon anybody. And I said to Miriam, I need to just lose 25 pounds. She never saw me before. We were complete strangers. And she's like, all right, let's do this. So I started the program, and a few months down the road, I was down 90 pounds. And it's really just crazy that, now every time I ask people what their goals are, I say, where did you come up with that number? Because I still remember my 25-pound joke when I really had 90 pounds to lose. So I did lose the weight, and I did get pregnant. It was my healthiest pregnancy yet. I did not have gestational diabetes. My numbers were actually perfect my whole entire pregnancy. But my son at 18 weeks, I found out he would have a congenital heart defect. So, but let me talk about my other life first. I kind of jumped ahead. So in my side life, besides for losing 90 pounds, I also owned a dog grooming salon. So throughout my adult life, I've done many different professions, anywhere from like real estate to medical professional stuff. Like I was all over the place. And my mother-in-law once suggested to me, like, you love animals, you should do something with dogs. So I opened up my dog grooming salon called Potty Cures. It was my baby. It was my proudest thing in life that I ever created. I love the marketing. I love dealing with the animals. I love dealing with the people. Like, it was just something I created from scratch, and it was an amazing business. And then when I was 7 months pregnant, my dog groomer, my assistant, quit on me. And I already knew that Gavin was going to be sick when he was born. So I took a medical leave from my store. And as opposed to coaching in my spare time, because I had 2 kids under 3 and my own business, I was pretty busy. Now that I think back, when people say, I don't have time to coach, I have no idea how I had time to coach, but busy people get things done. And it was really important to me to share this amazing program that I had. So I just, whether it was during a lunch break, whether it was on my drive to work, drive to daycare, I was just making those calls and helping people. I was transforming dogs and transforming people all at the same time. So, I think back to my life before when I was a dog groomer. If my kids were sick, I had to cancel on my clients. I was always scared, like a nurse was going to call me to pick up my kids, and I'd have a wet dog on the table, and I'd be like, what do I do? I was always so nervous. My busiest days at work were before holidays or Fridays, before the weekends. Everyone wanted their dogs done or big holidays, and that's exactly when, I needed stuff to do for my own stuff, for my kids, for holidays. I went into work often on Sundays or Christmas just because that's when everyone else was off, so Aaron was home to watch the kids, my husband, so I was able to go to work, and sometimes we'd all go together. So it was a lot. It took a lot out of me. And when Gavin was born, it's a blessing. Like, I had to leave my job and invest full time in health coaching, and it paid off. And now I'm earning more than I ever was. I have freedom. I have flexibility when my kids are sick, even if they just don't look okay. I just can keep them home, and I don't have to stress. I don't have to stress when they have days off from school. I don't have to stress about missing school plays or anything that's going on. Like, I could just be around. I could volunteer in my community. It's really an amazing thing that I never thought I would be given just from going on a diet. And one of the people on the line here, Miriam, besides from my husband who told me I could do this, like, she really mentored me, and I said, I need to do this full time, and she helped me along the way, and it's my privilege to introduce her. She's also one of my closest friends, so take it away.
Oh, Jacqui, gosh, that story, all of your stories. I don't know how I can, it's a big job to be the finale of these 4 amazing stories. You heard about one of our many awesome plans. You heard about the magic of our community. You heard about the freedom of time and that it's created for Jacqui's family, and certainly finances you touched on a little bit. But oftentimes when people call me, they know that they see the results of our program and they know that it's amazing, but they all want to know the same thing, and I assume you do too. How can I keep it off? Because like Elana said, and I'm sure many of us can relate, we've all done this before, right? We've all got a lot of experience. I've lost hundreds of pounds. I mean, I know I lost 100 pounds on this plan, but if you tally it all up, I've lost probably a whole lot. But one might say I've had many successes in the past, but it's not really success if you have to keep doing it over and over. So what makes this time different? What has me sitting here 3+ years later, looking pretty much like my after photo? It's fun. I only have that one before photo, but I have a lot of after photos. So what is the secret? And to that, I would say certainly the community at large that Elana spoke to and all that has to offer. And I, would certainly be remiss if I didn't give a tremendous shout out to my health coach, Miriam, who not only introduced this program to me, but continues to support me. But when I started this plan, I had that one awesome health coach, right? And now I'm coming up on 4 years. 4 years down the road, I have at least 4 health coaches that you can count right here. I mean, I'm motioning how they show on my screen. I don't know how it looks to you, but these folks on the line, I have at least these 4. I have my health coach. I have other awesome coaches that I work with. And frankly, even my clients, whether you know it or not, provide coaching for me as well. So health coaching is the most unbelievable insurance policy. It's like I worked so hard to get this 100 pounds off, and now I have an anchor in place that allows me to keep it off and continues to inspire and motivate me to find new ways to thrive and to constantly grow. I talk about health coaching as my anchor, and some people think that I mean financially. Like I make a joke sometimes, I can't afford to put my weight back on because I earn a really nice income from this. I mean, I used to carry 4 jobs. I worked 7 days a week with my 3 kids, and I was able to replace all of that with this wonderful, flexible career that allows me to help others. But it's not as much the financial motivation, because if I put my weight back on, I can get a new job. But the anchor that health coaching provides is the fact that, number one, I consider myself a congruent person. I'm talking to people all day about health, and it's important that I practice what I preach and I be honest to what I'm saying. I also constantly have health on the tip of my tongue instead of all those other wonderful treats that I used to have on the tip of my tongue. And I surround myself all day with people who are trying to be better versions of themselves. I mean, you all had a little taste tonight of these 4 awesome ladies that I spend a whole lot of time with. And we have a whole community of people like this. People joke all the time that they see my Facebook feed, we're constantly vacationing. So aside from the fact that health coaching has provided the financial wherewithal to do that and the freedom that allows us to do that, and shout out to my awesome mom who also makes that possible. But what's awesome about 90% of the vacations that you see is that they are with people like the ones on this line, whether it be conventions with thousands of people like this or weekend getaways with 1 or 2 people like this. It's a really amazing thing that my life has become one big, healthy, inspiring community. And it's more than I ever could have dreamt of. Because I promised that when I called my health coach just before May 1st, 2014, all I wanted to do was lose 100 pounds. All I wanted to do was just not look like that anymore. That was it. That was it. And when the first few people started asking me how I did it, and my coach, Miriam suggested I coach them, I thought she was nuts. I had no time. But thank you. Thank you for not just letting me say no and moving on. Thank you. Thank you for being persistent. I tease you about being very persistent, but I can't say thank you enough because it has just given me this and it's given me just such tremendous flexibility to be with my family, to be with my husband, to be with myself, and to continue to take the time to invest in myself to continue to be better and better and better. And I just encourage you. We have a lot of folks watching this live tonight, and we have a lot of people sharing it. So if you're watching this live, you've seen it on somebody's timeline. You've seen it. Somebody's shared it with you. Somebody's invited you, or you're friends with somebody who is streaming this and you thought it was interesting. So get in touch with that person and say, okay, I got to know more about this. This sounds too good to be true. It's not, by the way, because we're all speaking the truth here. But get in touch with the person who connected you with this Facebook Live and ask them. Just say, tell me more. Wishing everybody an awesome night, happy holidays, and let's finish 2017 strong and make 2018 friggin' awesome. Have a good night, everybody.